Afternoon class, hope everybody's doing well today. This is Brian Correa doing my informative speech today for SPCH Speech 1010. My informative speech today is actually on the two recent incidents on Malaysian Airlines. One of them was actually about 5 months ago, and the other one has actually transpired within the last week. So both are very, very recent incidents, regarding Malaysian Airlines. I just wanted to preface one thing in this presentation or the speech is that none of these, information that I'm sharing is meant to be factual or the truth in each matter. What I'm sharing today really has to do with research that I've done and accounts that I've read up on. But of course, nothing is meant to be truth, or the absolute truth, I should say, until both of the black boxes of both planes are recovered and a full investigation has been done, and obviously that investigation is shared with the the media and the public. So this is just based off the research that I've done. The first incident I wanted to talk about would be that concerning Malaysian Airlines flight MH370, which for most of us, March 8th, 2014 took off as in just a normal day. But those on flight MH370 were en route from Malaysia to Beijing. The plane actually had 12 crew and 227 passengers on board. And if you remember some accounts of the media, about 2/3 of those passengers were Chinese citizenship. So naturally, China throughout this entire process took a great deal of interest into this, the recovery and the plane and searching of the crew and the black box and what happened really in this incident. What we do know about MH370 is that the last known ping or communication with air traffic control took place about 30 minutes after takeoff from Malaysia. And they had reached their cruising altitude of 35,000 feet, and both pilot and the co-pilot had really just kind of said goodnight to the air traffic control in Malaysia and were being passed off to the next air traffic control tower in China. There was no distress signal at that point. Nobody had said that there was anything wrong with the mechanics of the plane or any issues that were worth reporting to air traffic control. So as far as air traffic control knew, everything was crystal clear, with the plane. There were a series of questions, that you can read throughout the media or throughout blog postings regarding what happened on this flight, and I drafted 4 of my own and my explanation of the 4. The first question that I had regarding this plane was, why did the plane make a sharp left turn? So as we know, the plane took off from Malaysia en route to Beijing. It was going in a northeast direction, and towards China. And then after the plane last checked in, or the pilot last checked in with air traffic control, it made a sharp left turn to go back across the Malaysian peninsula. So there's a very unanswered question as to why the plane made that turn. Especially when it was going in the right direction towards China. And several accounts say that there could have been a distress. Either the plane was being hijacked by hijackers, and that's why they checked in with the Malaysian air traffic control and then they made the left-hand turn. Another thing could have been shortly after that left-hand turn that the plane had a malfunction and it kind of lost sight, and then it got off track a little bit. Another account of this, why the plane made a left-hand turn, was because the pilots were seemingly so trying to hijack the plane or trying to crash the plane. That was question number 1. Question number 2 was, why were communications with the ground shut off? So we know right after the plane checked in with air traffic control, the communications, or the ping, reports with ground control was shut off. Reports show that the plane, shut off communications, one or two ways. Either the captain or crew manually shut off the control with the ground, which we don't know why. Or number 2 says there could have been some type of mechanical issue with the plane that caused, the communication system to be shut down. Although that's a less likely reason why. Question number 3 is, Why was no action taken when the plane's transponder went off? This has a lot to do with air traffic control in Malaysian or Asia, I should say, in general, because reports, as far as I've read, show that if this had occurred in Europe, there would immediately been some type of warning or detection system with air traffic control in Europe, trying to locate the plane or notifying military personnel to kind of find the plane. To figure out what had happened or why the plane had suddenly disappeared. So a lot really had to do with where the plane kind of took off from. That kind of explained why nobody really knew. The next question I should say was, why was the ground not able to track the whereabouts of the Boeing jet? As most of us are pretty aware, Boeing 777 is a pretty big jet, so even if the plane was, the communications was shut off, shouldn't there have been some type of tracking device on the plane so that they could locate it, if it had shut off? Well, just the best account that I have about this was that the Boeing jet, or Boeing 777 jet, was created in the 90s, and as such the technology takes place from the 90s, so there really is no tracking device on these planes, and once it's manually shut off or mechanically shut off, you can't locate the plane. So it's been over 5 months, and the whereabouts of this plane still have not been found, or Malaysian Airlines MH370. We do know, or we are searching, about 1,200 miles west of the coast of Australia, and that's about as far as we know about Malaysian 370. And as soon as it gets recovered, the black box is investigated. We'll know a little bit more. Recently, you guys all heard in the news. In fact, about 2 days ago, was about Malaysian Airlines MH317. This was a plane that was on board from Amsterdam to Malaysia. 283 passengers on board of Dutch, Malaysian, and Australian descent, 15 crew. And it was believed that, because it's not confirmed yet, that the plane was shot down while over Ukraine airspace. And it was by a surface-to-air missile on a Buck launcher. In case you guys don't know really about the media, there is an issue going on between Ukraine and Russia, and UN and USA are both involved in this. And it is suspected, not confirmed again, that the rebels in this dispute shot the plane down. But the daunting question really is, why was the plane shot down, and why again another incident on Malaysian Airlines? So that is my informative speech. If you guys have any questions or want to send me anything, you guys know my email address and how to contact me. Thanks.